Yeah, here we are in Vrindavan Dham. Morning time too. Just waking up, but I took a shower this time. Yeah, I just thought I'd bring up an angle of vision. This is not conspiracy this, conspiracy that, but just bring up an angle of vision. One point is, I cannot perform an activity that the Supreme Lord has not already performed, but in its perfection. Its perfection means purely spiritual. Purely spiritual means it's good for the person who's doing it, and it's good for the person that is the being done on. It's for the good of both. Not that it is only for my good, and it's only for my good, and it's only for my good. No. It is for the good of the person who's doing it, and it's of the good of the person that's happening to. So the words genocide, Holocaust, they have their application, and of course we have to recognize what's good, what's bad, who's taking what, and who's taking advantage of who. But if I say that I cannot do anything that hasn't already been done by the supreme manager of this universe, you say God, everybody will go to some other place, but he's the supreme manager. So he makes the format, the matrix. It's a format in a matrix. It's just like in a Rolodex or in your memory and everything. You just pull it up and use it. Not something that me and you have to invent. It's something he's already established, and we just are pieces within that matrix, format, whatever you want to call it. So, who would be like the most dramatic um, genocide? The most dramatic genocide. A beautiful, a wonderful drama. Drama in the sense that it's real, but the actors within that drama both are benefited positively. So I'm not going to go through the whole story and everything, but about 5,000 years ago, when there was a great need at that time to reduce the bad effects in this world. Sometimes the bad effects in the world get just too much out of hand, so the only thing you can do is have a good war. And you gather up the people that are doing it and bring down the bad effects. So at that time, 5,000 years ago, I'm trying to make this interesting and not going to the solely spiritual side, but just interesting so somebody can apply it to this world, what's happening right now. And not just put a one stamp on something. Yeah, just convict somebody. Yeah. So Krishna had called all his persons that could help him out here in this world to help lower and not eliminate, but lower the effect of ruling powers that weren't helpful to the humanity. He wanted to bring that effect down. So he has to bring warriors, and very good warriors. So at one time it was now ready. The world had come down to what? It wouldn't be like called the heavenly planets, but at least it was brought down to a more working planet where the person could work out his own karma and everything. So as he brought it down to that point, it was time to leave. But he didn't want to leave behind everybody that had come to help him out in the program. So he wanted to also, now you're finished with this job here in the earth, and let's go. Okay, so he got them in a situation where they got drunk. Now that's not unusual for persons that have come for a soldier type. Soldiers are known to have more power. In peacetime, soldiers are hard to control. But in wartime, they're very good because they've got that desire to, overlord. So he wanted to eliminate them. Why? Because those genes that they had were going to just create trouble. You can't ask a person with super genes to fight just to sit in his home. So let's eliminate them. So he got them drunk, and then they fought with each other. And they killed each other. Now that you could call like the matrix or the format of genocide. I'm going to take you all back. Let's have a big drama. Thousands of men gather, and they fight, and they kill each other, and that's it. The drama's over. The earth's back to its way that it should be. We eliminated too much of the heavy weight. We didn't eliminate everything. That's not proper. But back in the city, there's many that were left. Now, the many that were left in that city after all the men, all the high elevated soldiers had just murdered each other, sliced each other up, and they made plenty of blood. Like a beautiful drama if somebody likes a good fight. So then now we've gotten genocide of all of them. But think about it. The soldiers, even on their off time, they're not always fighting. They have their affairs. And in the city where they all lived, because they were actually kept in that city where they all lived, because the whole world didn't have to enter into this. They just came. They were just asked to come here and help me out. Let's eliminate the weight of persons that are giving so much problem here on the earth, and then you can go. Okay, so now this city was on an island. The city was on an island in the Indian Ocean. Not too far from the mainland, but somewhat. To keep them in confinement. Yeah, to keep them in confinement. because you don't want their whole mood to go into the society. Well, there's great celebrations on that city. And with the great celebrations, there's the parades. And the parades were led by prostitutes. Beautiful, wonderful, incredible prostitutes would dance in front of the parade. Now, for a soldier, that is part of the drama. A soldier has that energy in. He can't be killing somebody every day. He has that energy. So, with the coming of the prostitutes and with the men as we all know them, there was another group that was there on that island. Not, you could say family members in a way, but not family members, totally family members. There was quite a few of them. So now we have the situation where the leaders of that island have now eliminated each other, completely eliminated each other. Genocide, complete genocide, terrible. And then you got a city now of people that don't know how to run it. Not only they don't know how to run it, but that city was made of gold. That city had so many opulences in it. The description's incredible. So now what to do? And you got these offsprings, all these family member and offsprings that are not being claimed by the doers. But they're there. And they're in so many levels. Because on a city you need street sweepers, and you need a family of street sweepers, and you just need everything. You need the people that have to milk the cows, to bring the milk and everything. All these people were there. They were part of this whole complex, this military, fantastic military complex. And they sat on this island. So some of them were given the idea that this island is going down. Not just by a tidal wave or something like that, but Sumeru. Sumeru just will come up and just cover everything. So 5,000 years ago, this did happen. And the remnants of that island are found where it was supposed to be. Now, when you're on an island like this, and you got these persons who are not really the ones that were called for the fighting and the helping. They weren't called for the fighting and helping. They were there just in support. The street sweepers, the people that would come and cook for you and everything. Not trying to call them servants because they were really well elevated. Not servants. The merchants. The high class. High intelligence. And they also had a gene from very high class. Personalities that were called from this whole universe and come here and help me out. So these persons were not like of the mainland. They were not mainland persons. They were persons with a genetic sequence that was above what was on the mainland. So at this point, you get into a problem. These personalities, they can really take over. So when the island went down, some came to the mainland, but some did not go to the mainland. They went west. They escaped to the west. And these persons were like persons that even had a great association. They may have not been themselves, but they had great association of very high class persons of the whole universe. High class persons of the whole universe came from this whole thing. This line, this family line, lineage is like incredible. So you could make a division here. You could call Aryans. But you could call Aryans in two ways. One would be the Aryans that were called for the fight and at the end were sent back to their original position. Those Aryans were, of course, very pure and helpful. But then there's the other Aryans who weren't really even qualified to carry the weight. But they were Aryans. They had a bloodline of Aryans. 125 years that island was there. So quite a bit of people went west. They've got power that has to be recognized. It's got power that has to be recognized. You can't neglect it. They got power that can outcome everybody else's power. They can eliminate. So those personalities that went west later on became the Jewish society. In that Jewish society, there also may have been ones that were pure Aryans. And there were ones that were not pure Aryans and very dedicated to doing disasters. So this came out. Stalin, Hitler, FDR, Winston Churchill, they saw this. But some wanted to take the side of, okay, let's help out the Aryans who are not pure, but will help us out with our projects of money, our war projects of money. And maybe someone was saying, let's help out the Aryans that are good and eliminate the bad. Both of the conclusions are wrong, because you can't eliminate them. They weren't eliminated 5,000 years ago, and they're never going to be eliminated. They're there. They're here. They're part of this earth. But there have to be some control on it. So, who could maneuver a whole Holocaust, a genocide Holocaust? The only people that could maneuver such a thing are the people that are doing right now. They want to eliminate those Aryans, they're Aryans, and they want to eliminate the Aryans that want to do good. They even have their own book. I don't call them Jews, I call them Aryans. Stalin, Hitler, Winston Churchill, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, they didn't call them Jews, they called them Aryans. And when they wrote letters to each other, they called them Aryans. Are those the Aryans this, or are those the Aryans that? And how can we control the Aryans this? It was not an intellectual thing at all, because they have not been controlled for thousands of years. They're thousands of years, so there's a purpose for them in this world. It's just people have to understand who they are and not eliminate them. That's not our job. It's just to understand who they are and what they do and how do they degrade the population. So, in themselves, individually, they don't have the power to eliminate people. But they can surely undermine the person. They're very powerful. So, the Aryans at that point were picked out. Let's eliminate these Aryans that are bad and that are giving us trouble to our countries. But those same Aryans are so tricky and so smart that they became the eliminators. You got to put things a little bit together. Yeah. The Aryans that they wanted to eliminate became the Aryans that were eliminating. The Holocaust can only be conducted by those Aryans. Those Aryans are only persons that are qualified to put it in a drama and get rid of the other Aryans. And you can see it. The elimination of the Aryans that we would call sweet and nice and humble and occupied in helping people, those Aryans have to be eliminated by the other Aryans. They have to be eliminated. They're not really considered, they're not really our family. But they are. They're family. They're family members. But their way of thinking is totally different. This is really wonderful. You get the Aryans to fight the Aryans, and you stand back. If you get yourself sucked in to this battle, you can't not decide. They are very highly elevated. They're very powerful. Even if they're a small group, they're very powerful. They are in a family lineage that was called to eliminate not thousands, but millions of soldiers and military around the world that were giving so much trouble. if you call that type of person and you give them a uniform, and you give them a name and everything, and then you take them out to battle and they just fight for you so well. These personalities were empowered. They were empowered. And that empowerment has gone down. The beauty, when things are looked for in this way, I want to see the power of what was happening 5,000 years ago. And I can see the power that was there within the Aryans that you could call the nice Aryans, and within the Aryans that you can call the bad guys, the ones that want to do genocide. But they do genocide to their own people because they're disgusted with their own people. If your own family member goes against what you're thinking to do, you want to kill him first before you kill the other guys, because he's right there in the family. So the Holocaust was all maneuvered in that way. And they used the Holocaust to keep everybody threatened. So that's history. That's not any thing about trying to tell you Secret Service or what is it, CIA, FBI, or what Russia had and everything. This is not anything like that. This is just history. History. Gene history. Gene history. You can't get away from it. It's here. But you can understand it, and you can stop from getting involved. There's no reason to get involved. Let them fight each other. Let them fight each other. Bring their power down. Because that's the first people that they'll go for. They'll go for the people that know what they're doing. And the people that know what they're doing are their own family members with the same powers. And they both have heavy powers. Okay, I just wanted to give that in. This gives more like a world view, not a my religion here in this locality and my religion there in that locality and my religion here in this locality. No, this is centuries. This is generations. This is, and some of it is in all of us. So it's better to take it in this sense. It's better to take all this in this sense. Look at it in this way. And act as what is inspired within you. Yeah. Instead of getting drawn into so much hatred. The originator, the originator and the manufacturer was the supreme controller. And he had a project to do. And now that big project has become a small project. So you see that. And I want to bring all these soldiers down quickly. I want them to help me kill off all the heavy persons that are giving so much problem to the world. Let's kill them all. Let's bring them all, everybody into one place. 650 million soldiers, not just people, soldiers. And they even have history of where the soldiers came from. Even from America came the soldiers. Even from South America came the soldiers. Bring them all together. Let's eliminate this heavy burden on the earth and bring everything down to a peaceful. Okay, everybody come together. Let's take birth. Let's propagate. Let's go to our island. Now we're all together. Now let's fight. And 125 years is here. And then now let's get out of here. So the biggest genocide was done in that way. Just get out of here means. Now, the word there that would come up would be quickened. Quick, 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 right? Let's do this quick. Let's come down here. So that word is even carried out, well, not in all the Bibles or history of Judaism, but that word is still there. Quickened, quickened. Adam and Eve were quickened in the body. At least 3 times it's there. But everybody knew what quickened meant. Quick, come down here. Quick, take birth. Quick, do your job. Quick, get back to where you're supposed to be. That's what quicken is. So somebody would calculate that as being reincarnation. Yeah, that's what it is. Come down here, take this uniform as a body and do what you have to do. Give back the uniform and get out of here and go back to where you were. This is not the place to be. Quickened. But the word was very nicely taken out and said it doesn't exist. So that's a little input there of what a reincarnation is. Reincarnation is just the Lord asking for a job, come down here. So if we want to really do what the Lord likes, you quicken in your body. You get out of here. If not, quicken in my body all the way to back to Him or whatever. But at least get to a higher state. Obtain a higher state. Don't try to stay here. Quickened. Get out of here. Do your job. Do what you think you should do. Don't hold on to here. Just quickened. Get out of here. It gives such a humor. Quickened. You come here, you do your job, and you get out of here. It gives such a good explanation, a good feeling about that. Actually, it's 125 years is a split second. You know? So the word quicken is a really good word. You can use reincarnation, quicken. Okay, I thought I'd just put that in, just to give a global, not a localized thing, it's a global thing. And the world is a global thing. We're family. The men that had those other Aryans that they didn't claim, they still loved. Okay. We're a family. We're a world together. Okay. I'll go ahead and leave you go.